We asked for peace. You gave us fire. Galactic Council Assembly Hall, Cycle 9071.6. The hall was a monument to diplomacy. Arched domes of pulsating light, language filters humming in synchrony, and species of every imaginable morphology seated in concentric rings. But today, the room buzzed with attention no architecture could mask. In the center stood Ambassador Elena Miles of Earth, flanked by silent guards in obsidian black armor. She wore no ornaments, no emissarial robe, no smile. Her eyes scanned the assembly like twin laser sights. "You asked us to join your council," she began. Her voice carried the weight of 2 centuries of caution, amplified through perfect translation notes. "You called us young, impulsive, dangerous, even. So we listened. We studied your ways. We adapted. We compromised. For 100 years, we held back." The representatives of the Virex Dominion shifted in their gelatinous seats. A few emitters clicked nervously. Murmurs rippled among the Crothy, the Zotan, and the Kalar Union. Elena leaned forward. "We offered peace. You gave us fire." The silence after was total. "You think we're done evolving?" Her voice hardened. "You think we've shown you everything?" She gestured to the holograph that bloomed above her. Mars, fractured and burning. Luna, shattered like glass. Earth, scarred and grieving. "This was your mistake." And with that, Earth's ambassador walked out. 3 weeks earlier, Mars' colonial hub, Ares Ridge. It started at dawn. One moment, technicians were calibrating terraforming satellites. Children were attending hybrid language classes. Terraform bots hummed along perimeter paths. Then, the sun went black. No warning, no alert. Just an eclipse that wasn't scheduled. Within seconds, orbital strikes rained down. Lances of plasma split the atmosphere, gouging red-hot wounds into the soil. Entire biodomes evaporated in white heat. Defense drones were shredded before they activated. Colony command went dark in 12 seconds. By the time Earth received the distress call, Mars was gone. 3 million souls silenced. The same happened on Europa, Titan, and the orbital science web around Luna. Synchronized attacks, surgical precision, and the Virex made no effort to hide it. They broadcast their claim across all known subspace relays. The Earthkind must be taught humility. Earth, Terran Unified Senate Emergency Session. The room reeked of smoke and grief. Chancellor Naresh stood behind the black podium, his eyes red-rimmed, but his spine like steel. Above him, the flags of Earth's surviving nations drooped at half-mast. Survivors from the Mars colony were shown in silence. A child screaming beside a crater, a medic pressing bloody hands to a sealed breach, orbital footage of entire habitats splitting open like fruit. "We have always chosen restraint," Naresh began. "But restraint does not mean weakness. Mercy is not surrender, and patience is not permission." He activated the override. By executive order of the Senate and the Earth Defense Pact, the lock is lifted. The crowd erupted, not in cheers. In resolve. High orbit, Earth Defense Black Site, Lazarus Vault. They had called it Project Thanatos, a graveyard of war machines orbiting in silence, waiting for a day the architects prayed would never come. Now the locks clicked open. Ships unlike anything the galaxy had seen awoke, sleek stealth cruisers wrapped in quantum chameleon alloys, dreadnoughts armed with mass distortion rails, and drone swarms guided by predictive combat AIs. Weapons Earth had developed in secret after the first contact wars, but promised never to use unless existentially threatened. They had promised peace. The Virex had demanded war, and now they would taste it. Operation Black Silence, Virex Sector Theta 9. Commander Inico Reyes led the drop team. Once a child refugee from the Pacific Quake Arcology, now a legend among Black Ops Command. "This is not revenge," he said into the comms as the ship ghosted through Virex sensor nets. "This is a correction." The team inserted onto an asteroid base, serving as a key supply hub. They moved like shadows. No alarms, no casualties, no mercy. Virex personnel never saw them. The fuel depots were rigged, data cores corrupted with a custom worm. Vengeance.exe. The final touch, a transmission loop that showed Mars burning, overlaid with the words, "We were holding back." Then the asteroid disappeared in a silent implosion. Back on Earth, the message. The footage was leaked on purpose. Galactic subnets were flooded with a single loop. Virex general shouting, begging for systems to respond. Before the asteroid they stood on collapsed inward, turned to dark matter by exotic compression bombs. Underneath, Earth's seal glowed with chilling clarity. You attacked our homes. You burned our kin. Now it's war without pity. Virex homeworld, Capital Council. Panic, denial, rage, but underneath it all, fear. We thought they were primitives, one admiral choked. They were hiding this? For how long? They waited, the Virex premier whispered, until we gave them a reason to stop waiting. A new transmission came through. Not from a spy, not from a diplomat, from a child. The same girl who had been pulled from Mars rubble. She looked into the camera, eyes hollow, and she said, "We asked for peace. You gave us fire. Now you get what you gave us." Then the feed went dark. Now it's war without pity. Earth High Command, War Room, Subterranean Depth 9. The lights flickered over the massive table in the war chamber. Holograms flickered, star systems highlighted in red, fleet movements tracked in real time, and faces of Virex commanders marked for termination. General Amina Cortez, commander of the unified Terran fleet, looked around the room. Protocol Mercury is now in effect. No more warnings. No more talks. The time for mercy is over. No one disagreed. "Deploy the Iron Wings," she ordered. "Send the Black Sun." Deep void, the Iron Wings engage. The Iron Wings weren't just elite pilots. They were genetically engineered, cybernetically enhanced, and paired with neural-link starfighters that reacted faster than thought. In the space above Kaver Station, a fortified Virex bastion orbiting a gas giant, they arrived like ghosts. Virex Fleet Command barely had time to react. Human weaponry evolved in silence. Virex warships were shredded before they registered target. Nanite torpedoes tunneled into hulls and rewrote the AI core mid-battle, turning ships against each other. The Iron Wings broadcast one message mid-engagement. This is not conquest. This is consequence. Within 17 minutes, Kaver Station ceased to exist. Every fleet in orbit, dead metal, drifting in vacuum. Galactic Newsnet, emergency broadcast. The galaxy reeled in horror and awe. The Virex Dominion, once arrogant and sprawling, now reeled backward as system after system fell. Pirates refused to work with them. Allies abandoned them. Some neutral species offered Earth tribute to avoid attention. One headline dominated the data waves. Humanity unleashed. The species that waited. And below that, now it's war without pity. Zar AK, Citadel, Virex Homeworld Defense Council. Premier Zul's tendrils trembled as he reviewed the reports. His ministers screamed for retaliation. But what could they deploy that humans hadn't already countered in the first week? "Deploy the planet cracker," someone whispered. "No," Zul replied. They'd only answer with worse. Because he had seen the classified human archives, read the reports on Earth's deep AI weapon cores, anti-star bombs, and the mythical Oblivion Drive, technology humanity had quietly buried when peace was still an option. Now, those locks were gone. Terran flagship, TSF Judgment's Wake. In orbit above Virex Prime, the ship dwarfed the Virex defense fleet, 12 kilometers long, a mobile fortress of black metal and humming silence. Inside its command deck stood General Amina Cortez and Commander Inico Reyes. "The target is military," Reyes confirmed. "We leave the civilian zones untouched." "We're not monsters," Cortez said, voice cold. "Just what you made us." She opened a channel to the entire Virex homeworld. Her face appeared across every screen, every interface. "This is General Cortez of the Terran Unified Fleet. You were warned. You fired first. We offered peace, and you answered with genocide. You will never harm our kind again." Below, the orbital ion lances activated, blue-white fire slicing from the void into the largest military complexes on the planet. Their kinetic energy caused tectonic ripple quakes. Power grids fell. Command bunkers evaporated in silence. But the cities? The civilian infrastructure? Untouched. Planetfall, Vyrek surrender. Resistance lasted 6 hours. Reyes and his Black Ops division walked the streets of the Vyrek's capital unopposed. No one raised weapons. The message had been delivered in blood and fire, and it was understood. In the Vyrek's High Council chamber, Reyes found Premier Zul standing alone. "You could have let us be," the Premier rasped. "We did," Reyes replied. Earth Victory Address at New Geneva. Chancellor Naresh stood before the unified banners of Earth, Mars, Luna, Europa, and the refugee colonies. "This is not a day of celebration," he said. "This is a day of reckoning. We did not ask for this war, but we ended it." He raised his hand, and the crowd fell silent. "We will not conquer. We will not enslave. But to those who raise weapons against us again, there will be no warning, no mercy, only fire." 10 years later, Martian Reconstruction Zone. A new school dome opened on Mars. Children walked past glass panels that showed before and after maps of the system. They studied peace treaties signed by species once hostile. In a quiet classroom, a history teacher asked, "And what did Earth learn from the war?" A small girl, one of the survivors of the old colony, raised her hand. "We learned that holding back only works until someone mistakes it for weakness." "And now?" the teacher asked. She stared at the stars beyond the dome. "Now we make sure they never forget. We don't forgive. We remember."